You wanna get drunk and stay the night.
Now that was a good dance sesh. It's a good song too. If you haven't heard it before, it's by the artist Amanda Palmer. Here, have a listen to another one of her songs.
My friend has problems with winter and autumn. They give him prescriptions, they shine bright lights on him. They say it's genetic, they say he can't help it. They say you can catch it, but sometimes you're born with it.
The Dresden Dolls. This band soon developed a cult following, and they were soon signed to Roadrunner Records. A couple of years down the track, in 2008, Amanda released her first solo album titled Who Killed Amanda Palmer? It was K9 in the bedroom with the USB cord. Things with her record label started to get ugly, and she spent years trying to break free. After quite a battle, they released her, and in 2012, she went on Kickstarter asking for $100,000 to fund her second solo album, Theater is Evil. Over 25,000 backers backed her, and she made $1.2 million. That's a lot of money. It broke the record for the most funding a Kickstarter had received, and it gave birth to 1 million think pieces about whether this was the future of music. And it made me think about whether did the people now have the power to choose what they wanted to listen to? Could artists be successful through it? And does crowdfunding work well as a democratic institution? According to Padgett and Ralston, in an article they wrote in the Journal of the International Academy for Case Studies, over the past decade, the number of major record labels has shrunk from 5 down to just 3. The traditional way of funding records and music used to go something like this. The big companies, Sony, BMG, Universal, EMI, and Warner, would use about $1 million to market, buy studio time, and promote a new artist. And then hopefully, the artist would do well, and the fans would buy their records, go to their concerts, and the labels would take a cut of their earnings. In Patrick Galuzska and Victor Bystrov's journal article, Crowdfunding, a case study of a new model of financing musical production, records lose money on 90% of the records they release, so it's up to the 10% to make back all of the money lost. So the traditional formula is to constantly be searching for the next big thing. The crowdfunding method is different. The internet itself takes care of distribution and, to an extent, marketing, and the crowdfunders become the ones who raise the capital, replacing labels entirely. Crowdfunding sites like Kickstarter usually take a 5% fee, but that is for being the platform, not for having any control. This is where the little baby of democracy is born. The people decide what music they want, they support it, and they take the power away from the divine powers that be, aka the recording label. But it's not just music that has the backing from the people. Technology and science and many more are funded by the public. And research has shown that the way that crowds assess innovations seems to frequently align with the assessment of experts. Ethan Mollick and Alicia Robb, who wrote the journal article Democratizing Innovation and Capital Access, the Role of Crowdfunding, say that the qualities that venture capitalists look for in a project are the same qualities that the general population looks for as well. Some of these qualities include past successes with projects and outside endorsements. The public are also good at spotting when a project is a fraud. Together, these results suggest some important features of a more democratic funding system for new innovations. The way that the crowd assesses innovations, which seems to align with the assessment of experts, would mean that a more democratic world online is not necessarily one in which populism trumps quality. So the global population, through an online forum, is able to have their say about what they want. If we use the democratic voting system with this idea, people are essentially electing what they want through their support. But does this democratic approach always work? And does it reflect the democratizing potential of the online world? Because it does have its limitations, and it's not purely a democratic process, because while Kickstarter, for example, doesn't have full control, it can monitor and ban projects if it so chooses. Recently it banned a laser razor campaign, which was aimed at futuristic shaving, because it thought its claims were unproven. In this way, not every idea is available for people to choose to support. And not all ideas become a reality either. In fact, according to the Journal of the International Academy for Case Studies, only 43.9% of all Kickstarters are successfully funded. And when they are funded, not all project managers follow through. In Amanda Palmer's case, she was once again caught up in controversy because after getting $1.2 million for her Kickstarter, it was claimed she used some of the money for her own personal expenses, and later on when touring, she asked for musicians to join her on tour, but planned to pay them in hugs and beer instead of cash money. Its potential is there for democracy, but just like our real democratic systems, it's flawed, and supporters are free to give to whatever projects they choose. I think it also reflects a wider online democracy. It is a tool in the same way that social media is a tool, and which has famously played crucial roles in letting people have their say. One example would be the Arab Spring uprising. And if we go one step broader, the internet itself is democratic in the sense that it gives everyone a say and everyone can be heard, and supreme power is vested in the people. There are still flaws, with Google mining our data and Facebook allegedly controlling trending topics. But hey, we can crowdfund an Amanda Palmer album, and that's a pretty good first step.
Coin-operated boy sitting on the shelf. He is just a toy, but I turn him on and he comes to life. Automatic joy. That is why I want a coin.